We have our guest speaker here tonight. Katie Page is the leader of Indivisible Metro Detroit, which is a virtual group that's kind of all over Metro. She's got some of her team here that's going to be filming it. Katie's a social worker that works with combat veterans that have been traumatized. And she's an amazing person, amazing leader, and I'm just going to call her a badass. So, please welcome our friend Katie Page.
Hey guys, thanks for letting me speak tonight. I've been kind of joking as we've been moving through 2025 that spending the last 16 years working as a trauma counselor has uniquely prepared me for this moment. But now I really think that it has, because thinking about how we maintain resiliency as we're just facing this endless onslaught and the emotional toll that it takes and just the energy that we're expending to try to fight, I actually think that I have some stuff to share. So I'm hoping that you will find it helpful. But I just want to begin with a reminder of why are we here and why are we doing all of this? I can just say for myself that I want to build the kind of world that I want to live in and that I would like to offer the people around me. I'm a big meditator, I do yoga. Often when I complete a practice, there's a blessing that I will return to, and it says, "May all beings be happy and free, and may my words and actions in some way contribute to their happiness and freedom." So my hope is that tonight we can move each of you closer to your own happiness and freedom so that you can continue to send that out to others. So with that in mind, I'm just going to ask for the next hour if you could move aside any distractions, right? We all have a lot going on. If you've got worries, if you've got concerns, if you put them outside the door for right now, they will be there for you when you leave. If you have a cell phone, surgically connected to your hand, maybe just turn it over. And allow ourselves to be here and think about resiliency. So what is resiliency? It really runs on a continuum. So on the extreme end, when people are struggling after a challenge or something traumatic, we're going to see people who are developing PTSD or severe depression, possibly suicidal ideation, right? So that's when things are not going well. In the middle is where we would say people who, they're kind of knocked off their feet for a minute. Maybe they do go through a period of depression or grief, but within about a month, they're going to go back to their baseline level of functioning. So wherever they were at on the happiness scale prior to this challenge or trauma, they're going to go back to that. And then on the other extreme, you have what we call post-traumatic growth. So there are some people who find benefit in even the worst of things, and they actually end up better off than they were prior to the trauma. I'm not going to go all the way there tonight. That's for you to nerd out on later. But if you just want to Google post-traumatic growth, there's a lot of stuff out there for you. And it's a possibility. It's a very real possibility. And there's a lot that you can do to build resiliency between now and whatever the next challenge that you would face that can help set you up for a moment of post-traumatic growth. So essentially, resiliency is your ability to bounce back, ideally quickly. And there's a lot of research about this. Particularly, I'm going to be pulling from the research of Martin Seligman. He is known as the father of positive psychology. So if you're like, what is positive psychology? I've never heard of this. Traditionally, psychology has studied what's wrong. What's wrong with you, right? And how do we fix what's wrong? Positive psychology essentially says, what do the happiest people do? What gives us the best quality of life? And so it's looking at things from another perspective. And he's done a lot of research with many other people, and they have really zeroed in on 5 elements that help us to build resiliency, and they call it the PERMA model, right? So PERMA is an acronym. And the first one is positive emotion, right? So often when we're busy or we feel stressed, we think of positive emotion as a luxury that we will get to at a later date. I'm going to encourage you to start thinking of it as a necessity. and make time in your calendar for this. So I take dance classes, and I actually pay for dance coaching, and I was coming here tonight, I was like, hey guys, I have dance coaching tonight, so I'm gonna have to step out for 30 minutes while I do that, because it's an absolute necessity for me. Not because anybody's gonna live or die if I don't do my dance coaching, but because it's a source of joy, right? And with all the negative coming into life, we have to have something to balance that out. So experiencing joy, hope, gratitude, and other uplifting emotions just helps to improve not only our attitude, but also our mental flexibility in the face of difficulties. And recognizing and increasing, like intentionally increasing these moments, helps to strengthen our resilience by nurturing optimism and preventing stress from accumulating, right? So it's also a way for us, laughing with friends is a way for us to let go of a lot of stuff. Positive emotions also help us to reduce anxiety, because it's not like we don't have enough of that, and encourage adaptive coping. So here's the thing. We've been meetinged out this year. I don't know how many Zoom meetings you guys have attended, but I'd be happy to post up. Yeah, like let's talk about that. So I've also listened to plenty of people speak, and it gets really boring. So when we're talking about resilience, tonight we're going to be talking, I want you guys to actually do some stuff, so I've got some things set up. The first is, you've probably heard about this before, gratitude, right? We've read a lot of articles like, if you want to increase gratitude, list 3 things a day that you're grateful for, and that's actually great. That's a great practice. But particularly in this time of the year, Advent is kind of a special season to me, and it's just built into the logic of gratitude to think of the good things in your life. Like actually, I invite you right now to just think of one good thing from today. And it doesn't have to be, you know, peace in the Middle East. It could be someone opened a door for me, or I really enjoyed my lunch, or, you know, whatever it is. Think of this good thing. And this is a gift. This is a gift that you received. And if you were receiving a gift, there was a giver. There was a benefactor. There was someone responsible. So how you define that, you might be like, well, I'm not really sure how that, maybe it's the divine, right? Maybe it's something like that. I'll tell you what, when I had my lunch today, there were plenty of people involved in growing grains, harvesting that. Somebody drove food to the store. There were many hands involved in the lunch that I ate today. And I can just express thanks for all of those people, right? So there's a gift, there's a giver, and there's a receiver. So just take a moment and get clear on that, right? Like, what is the gift that you received today? Who or what was involved in giving it to you? And, oh, I forgot that I printed these double-sided. And then, what have you done as a response? You received this gift. Did you have a moment to express gratitude for it? Whether it was in a moment of prayer, whether it was saying to the person who gave it to you, who opened the door, who smiled at you, thank you. Or sometimes we just have the opportunity to share about a good thing with another person. Because there is such a thing in positive psychology. They talk about an upward spiral of positivity. If you guys have ever had the opportunity to pay it forward, like when we see people doing good things or we're on the end of a good thing, wow, it inspires us to be good and put more good out into the world, right? So even you telling other people about the goodness that you have received helps to strengthen the gratitude muscle, possibly not just for yourself, but also for other people. Okay, so I want you to take a minute, find someone next to you, tell them about the gift that you received, and listen to the gift that they received. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes. Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, you guys. So I'm excited to know that you guys have received many good things today. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about because we have an hour and we're going to do these little breakout moments. Forgive me, but I'm going to have to keep it moving. So I wanted to give you a taste of that. So the P in the PERMA model is positive emotion, and one path to increasing positive emotion is gratitude. There are many paths, but that's just one. The E in the PERMA model stands for engagement. And actually, some people will refer to this as flow. The primary researcher, or the grandfather of flow research, would be Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Good luck if you can spell that. And the word came from, he would give artists like pagers and just have them work on whatever it was they were working on. So pottery, painting, and then he would send them a page and they were supposed to record how they felt. And he noticed that there were certain times when they were working on their art, you know, he learned after the fact, that they were feeling lots of positive emotion. So he would ask them to describe what was going on, and they said it was like being in the flow of a river, right? They were so engaged in what they were doing, hours could go by, and they wouldn't even realize it, right? They wouldn't need to stop to eat. Sometimes they'd forget to eat. Like maybe they wouldn't even have to use the bathroom. So a moment of flow or a moment of high engagement is when you're really absorbed. It requires your full attention. Now I want to be clear, it's not watching TV, okay? It's not zoning out to your phone. It's something that actually requires skill, right? So what's interesting about flow is you have to have it's where your level of skill meets the challenge, right? Because if the challenge is too great, we become frustrated. And if the challenge isn't enough, it's just boring, right? So the interesting thing about flow is that it really does create mastery, because you have to keep ramping up your expertise, otherwise you're just going to get bored, right? So here's the other thing about flow. I'm like, gosh, how would I do that with a group? Well, I can't, because you guys are all going to be absorbed by different types of interests, and you all have different talents and abilities. But there are people who study group flow, which I thought would be more relevant to what you're trying to accomplish through Eastside Indivisible Alliance, right? So group flow is unique in that, let me see here, it requires concentration, shared, clear goals, good communication, and lots of immediate feedback, equal participation, an element of risk. We're used to that. Familiarity, like you have a common language around what you're doing. A blending of egos. This is like humility. No one is hogging the spotlight. We're all working together towards the same goal. A sense of control, like a sense of autonomy. You're free to exercise your skills, your gifts, your abilities within the group, and you're good at what you do within the group. And close listening, okay? So group flow. I want to give you a taste of this. So we're going to do a little improv game called One Word Story, right? This is where I'm going to test right now if you're closely listening, right? Because I need you to follow the rules. By one word, I mean one word, right? Each of us is going to have one word that we put towards the story. And for some reason, when I've done this before, people forget that this kind of needs to equal a cohesive story. So we're not just throwing out random words. We want it to actually make sense, right? So what I'll do is I will start on this side of the room, and we will work our way around, one person at a time, right? Do you understand the instructions? Yeah, okay. I hope you're dialed in right now. I'll do the first word, as most good stories begin. Once.
There. Compassion. Fulfillment.
On.
I think we should start over. Okay, so this is a good example, right? We want to listen to what the person before us is saying. We need this to make sense. And this is normal. We all get nervous, right? Because the spotlight's on us when we need to come in and put out our words. So I'll have you start again.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Today,
Sun. Sun.
Okay. Today's sun was
Shining.
the crystal
Ball. Twinkling. Bright.
Tonight,
and
Stars.
stars.
shown
brightly in
The
brightly
throughout
sky, voyage, we, blue,
pass.
What was the last word?
blue is the last word? Blue together,
Yeah.
With.
horizon,
Okay.
Beyond.
Okay.
stratosphere,
Expecting.
to,
Find.
Heavenly.
Body.
previously,
Unknown.
Period.
Okay. All right, so I am curious, right? How did you guys feel doing that? Did you notice any emotions that came up?
frustration,
Frustration? Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
Stress.
Stress. Yeah, there's that moment like, oh my God, all the attention is on me, right? So here's the thing. This is the first time you guys have done this, so it's the best example that I could think of to represent group flow, but you guys haven't developed this specific skill, right? So at this point, the challenge is higher than, sorry, your current skill level as a group, but that doesn't mean that this isn't something that you, if you chose to, you could learn to do well. This is similar to pretty much every Indivisible group that started in the state of Michigan or in the country this year, right? I've talked to a lot of other leaders and I talked to people within my group and I talked to political organizers who have been doing this for many years and they're like, yeah, it always feels like we're building the plane while we're flying it. So I want to normalize that experience for you, but I also want to let you know that flow as a group is possible. So also, I'll be giving you guys some handouts if you decide to deep dive and just completely nerd out on this stuff. If you want to know all about flow, I've got some stuff for you afterwards, but I didn't want to hit you with it all up front. Okay, so we have positive emotions, we have engagement, and then the R in the PERMA method stands for relationships. So, has anybody heard of the Harvard study? Okay. Well, it's kind of the Harvard study because it's the longest running study on quality of life, period. It's been going for over 70 years now. They've been quantifying the research. It's in multiple generations. They would follow, the original study was with a graduating class of men out of Harvard Business School, and they followed them until their deaths, and then they're following multiple generations of people. And one of the questions is, what leads to success, quality of life? And the number one finding from the study is the number and quality of your relationships. The number one. You could also look up the Blue Zone study, which looks at people who have lived the longest on the earth, right? They look at diet, they look at exercise, but actually, one of the things that all the people who live longest, they have relationships. They have high quality, very close relationships. So here's the other thing. I know this because I work in mental health. I've been working in mental health for over 25 years, which is crazy. I talk to a lot of lonely people or people who struggle to make relationships, because part of life is that things just change constantly. We have friends, they move, we have friends, they die, we have friendships that sometimes end or drift away. So it's an ongoing process, always building relationships. And a lot of people hesitate to build relationships because they actually worry that people don't like them. They've done research on this. So here's the good news, you guys. The research has shown people like you more than you think they do. So when you go into any new environment where you're seeking to make friends, or you decide to reach out to somebody to go have a coffee or get to know them better, assume that they like you, okay? Also, one of the best things that you can do is to continually take initiative. There was a really great article describing Dr. Ruth in the New York Times and her commitment to friendship. And one of the things that she said was, continue to invite people even if they never invite you back. Just keep doing it. She was like, it's going to make you happy. You're going to get to spend time with people. You're going to enjoy it. Don't get caught up on the reciprocity all the time. So continue to initiate. Aim for intimacy. This is tough. I work with both men and women, but I think sometimes men really struggle with this a little bit more, how to get deeper level of vulnerability and intimacy in their friendships. And you have to be intentional about it. So you have to be willing to be vulnerable in order to build a deeper level of a relationship with anyone. When people reach out to you, you want to get back to them quickly. So think within 24 hours. If you're trying to build a relationship with somebody and you wait a week, it's a bad look, man. It's a bad look. Be consistent, regular engagement. You have to be willing, if you want relationships, you got to be willing to deal with conflict. It's baked in, right? If you haven't experienced it in Eastside Indivisible Alliance, you will. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It just means that you're humans and you're alive. So that's okay. One of the best ways to build trust is to learn how to have healthy conflict and move past it. That's how you have a real strong friendship, when you can get really pissed off at somebody and yet still care about them and move past it. Be generous, show affection, and understand, and I think this is a really important thing, time is actually a big factor in relationships. They've also done, I believe it's the University of Texas, they did some research around relationships, and it basically boils down to hours, right? So I did yoga, like 6 a.m. yoga for years at this studio, and you know, if you've ever been to a yoga class, there's like not a lot of talking during the class. So I was like, well, how in the heck am I ever going to get to know anybody? So I would have like a few minutes taking off my shoes and putting my bag in a cubby or something in the lobby, and then however long people are hanging out, which typically is not a long time after the class is done. But because I went to the studio for several years, I'm logging hours. I'm in the same room with these people every freaking Monday through Friday, sometimes on Saturdays, you know, occasionally on a Sunday. So I'm logging time. This is what it boils down to. There is a certain number of hours to move from a stranger to an acquaintance to a friend to a good friend. So just know that. You don't need to get into the, I mean, you can look it up, the exact number of hours basically that you're going for. But if you know that, keep putting in the time, right? It's like water on a rock. Keep putting in the time. Okay, so in the name of vulnerability and putting in a little bit of time, one of the handouts is 32 questions, or 36 questions. This was put together by a sociologist who was looking at how to develop intimacy, and they originally dubbed it, or gave this the name 36 questions that make you fall in love, because during the research they had couples who did this and then got married. So you're not going to be able to get through the 36 questions. We don't have time for that, but maybe shoot for 3 to 5. So I would encourage you to pick a new partner. Pick somebody new, even if you have to move, that's okay, you're allowed. Ask them these questions and then switch places. Okay? great that you're willing to try things. So thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little something. I'm curious, maybe like one or two people, what was something interesting you learned about your conversation partner?
We didn't have a chance.
We didn't have a chance! What? You didn't learn anything? No, okay.
Well, I did.
You did, tell me.
He has a granddaughter who is a musical genius.
Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's beautiful. You lucky dog? Yes.
We both had near-death experiences and came back.
Wow.
Were brought back. So we have gratitude for every single day together.
Yeah, because you're on borrowed now. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so you have this opportunity to engage in questions. One of the things, I'm giving you guys a handout with some extra stuff to look at if you want to explore more about resilience. And one of the things that I get a kick out of, I like questions like this. At home, I like to throw dinner parties, and at home I have a bowl with a bunch of little strips of paper where I've written questions. And there's, it's famous, the Proust questionnaire. And so you can look up the Proust questionnaire. He said that if you had someone answer all of the questions, you would know their soul. So I dare you, right? All right, so positive emotions, engagement, relationships. The M in the PERMA model is meaning, right? A sense of meaning and purpose, in case you guys didn't know, can be derived from belonging to and serving something bigger than yourself, right? So we can find this obviously in political work, in organized religion and faith practices, in science, in family, in justice work, and many others, right? So there are many ways that we can introduce meaning and purpose into our lives. But one, again, that comes to mind for me at this time of year. Uh-oh.
That was me, sorry.
No worries. One that comes to mind is Advent. So this year my mom got me, I'm super hyped, the Advent chocolate calendar from Aldi. So I have a little ritual when I go home. I like to light a candle and then I'm eating the chocolate of the day, right? So I want to introduce you guys to a new ritual. So this is another way of creating meaning. When we talk about ritual, it's one way of making the invisible visible. So when I thought about that, I was like, okay, what would we like to make visible tonight? One of the things that has really encouraged and inspired me in 2025 in the face of fascism has been, quite frankly, the altruism and loving kindness that I see in the communities that I've come alongside. So I wanted to help make this visible for all of you. For this exercise, choose one partner, ideally someone that you have not already engaged with. I promise you, you have permission to move. There are no sharks on the floor. You're okay. If you need to move over to another table, go ahead and do that. But what I'm going to have you do is, when you choose your partner, you're going to if you don't already know, you're going to ask their first name, and then with their permission, just put a hand on their shoulder, right? And then I'm going to have you look at them, and we're going to repeat some phrases together, right? So assume the position, and then we will begin the phrases. guys ready? So all you need to know, just to review, is you need to know this person's first name, right? And then here's the thing. This is really important. When it comes to altruism, kindness, compassion, the goodness in our own hearts, you actually don't need to know anything else about this person because you already know something. You know that just like you, this is a human being. You know that just like you, this person wants to be happy. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to wish happiness for this person across from you. So tell me your name. Jane. All right, Jane and I are going to do this, and you guys can follow our lead. So I will say the phrase, and then one person, we'll start one at a time, and then we can switch, right? One person will say the phrases to their partner. So choose the person who's going to speak and the person who's going to listen. Okay. All right, are you ready? I want you to look at your partner. Jane, sorry, you say their name. Jane, may you be free from inner and outer harm. All right, for your second phrase. Jane, may you care for yourself joyfully. I think so. All right, you ready for the third one?
No, the second one again.
May you care for yourself joyfully. All right, for our third one. Jane, may you speak to yourself lovingly. All right. And then, for our last one, are you ready? Okay, for the last one, Jane, may you be aware of the temporality of all things. All right. So now, does the second person have them all memorized? All right. But we're going to switch, right? So the speaker will now be quiet, and the other person will take their place. So you put your hand on their shoulder, and you look at your partner. May you be free from inner and outer harm. May you care for yourself joyfully. May you speak to yourself lovingly. May you be aware of the temporality of all things. All right. So what I want to do. So after this, I'm going to invite you guys, after this, it's interesting, it kicks up emotion. It kicks up a bit of emotion having this very personal moment with another person, right? So I'm curious, after experiencing this, what was it like? You can have one or two people, but I am curious to know, what was it like for you to engage in this new ritual?
I would say it's almost intimate.
Yeah, yeah, very much so, very much so. And I saw your hand.
I was gonna say the same thing, and it was like just an immediate quiet and connection, and yeah.
So this comes out of a meditation practice that I engage in called, and it's been around for thousands of years, called loving kindness meditation, right? And the whole purpose of loving kindness meditation is to train your heart to respond to every living being like a reflex with loving kindness. That's the whole purpose. You're training your heart and your mind to respond with, and what's kind of amazing is from what you guys are sharing is that maybe you know this person not at all, but wow, it can get real very fast, right? If you set the intention. So rituals have that power to really like zero in our intentions. Okay. Positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, right, the PERMA model. So the A stands for accomplishments. So raise your hand if prior to 2025 you had never called your senator before. Oh yeah, yep. Okay, that's an accomplishment. Y'all should be proud of that. Civic engagement. Raise your hand if prior to 2025 you had never attended a protest. Actually, I think, yeah. Awesome. I remember walking up to my first one, like all alone with my sign. I was a little stressed out. I made it, you know, it was good. Raise your hand if prior to 2025 you had not been a part of an indivisible group. Yeah. We have something in common. Okay. Are there any accomplishments that you're proud of as a group?
No kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No kings, no violence.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm curious, like, how many came to your first meeting? Do you remember?
12.
Wow. This is, and I heard that this is a light night in terms of attendance. That's very impressive. You guys should be proud of that. You're attracting people, you know, based on what's going on in your heart and the way you're moving through the world.
Maybe can I say one?
Yeah.
I think one of the things Charlie and I are most proud of is the community that has come together through all of this, and the friendships that we see happening and everything. It makes it worthwhile.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Like, I didn't really understand how much I needed the people that I was going to be spending time with.
Yeah.
You know, I think I would have lost my mind, frankly. Okay, so I'm curious. Maybe you have ideas about this, maybe you don't, but I'm going to throw it out there. Apart from saving democracy, what do you want to accomplish within, so within, just within this group, within Eastside Indivisible Alliance? So not necessarily out in the world, but what do you want to accomplish within the group? You're like, I'm not responsible for this. I just should.
You know, I think that Dana and Charlie really deserve a huge hand, because what Dana just said about people coming together and getting to know each other and feeling support, because that support, that need for support, at least speaking for myself, becomes even greater the worse the news is. Take your pick, day by day, hour by hour, you know. And I think that, but the other thing implied that you've both really communicated is the compassion and understanding that each person ebbs and flows. Like, this is a day I can't handle anymore. I need to, you know, go hide under a pillow or something. And they really communicate, I think, that respect really well, so fully.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. So, if you don't mind me summarizing that, one of the
I know I
things.
say too much.
No, no, but I guess if I were to reframe it, because it was a beautiful sentiment, was that you've received care as being a part of this group.
Oh, yeah.
It would be awesome if you could continue to expand it. right? Continue to expand the care so that people who come to this group feel that, right? And not just like as a suspicion, I think these people might care for me, but like really deeply know that. Anybody else want to take a stab at
I wanna
that?
care for him, we've got chairs over here.
Oh.
Do you feel the caring? Do you feel
I do,
the caring?
I do.
Okay.
She already told me. I know it's okay, I'll stay.
I love it.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna be talking later, but Dana and I were just talking about this week in terms of, what we would love to see. Like, we love this community that is growing, and just, to grow this group, but by attraction, like by being the kind of people that other people want to be around, kind, caring people that try to make the community better, versus, like trying to recruit, just attraction rather than promotion,
100%. 100%. It's
Did I say
wild
that
to,
right?
it's wild to think about what the beauty of being a good neighbor. Previous to this year, I don't know that I would have called it sexy, but it's very attractive, I'll tell you that. People being a good neighbor, there's been so much isolation, particularly with everything. COVID really put that on steroids, like everybody being on the computer and more internal, but this is so delightful to see people moving back out and connecting. I want to ask you guys to think. In 2025, as part of Eastside Indivisible Alliance, we're thinking about accomplishment, the A in PERMA. Would you like to get more involved? So just sit with it. You don't have to answer me right now, but think about that. Would you like to get more involved? Would you like to have, because I know they're a lot of work, would you like to have more events? Maybe some are internal, maybe some are external, right? Would you like to make more friends? You know a little bit about the work that will take. We've discussed it, okay? All right. And then the other side of accomplishment that I want you guys to think about, and I just want to leave with you, is what, as Eastside Indivisible Alliance, do you guys as a group want to accomplish? So if you were to imagine that it's November 4th, 2026, we're just the other side of the midterm election, what's happened? Guess what? We won huge, okay? So if we're winning huge, what did it take to get us there, right? So I want you to reverse engineer that shit, okay? Think about, if I need this to happen, what steps do we need to take now to make it happen? Because Indivisible National, if you guys don't know, you're about to know, they're pivoting to 2026 in the midterms. So the good news is you don't have to do everything. Like, it's not all on your shoulders. But seriously, I encourage you to consider what's your role in the grand plan, right? Like, what is your little area? What do you have to offer the group? What's the gift that you're giving to your neighbors or to your country, right? So positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. If you work on developing these areas into your life, and honestly, I encourage you to think intentionally, put it on the calendar. No excuses. This is on your to-do list. Get it done. Why? Because I don't want to just win and be looking at bodies of people who've been burnt out because they worked themselves into an early grave or something. I want y'all to be there celebrating together with genuine joy. So I want you to take this in and really think about it as you move forward, but I also want to thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. May all beings be happy and free, and may our words and actions in some way contribute to their happiness and freedom. Thank you.